Hey, what's going on? It's Quinn David Furness. Welcome to my show. Quinn David Furness presents the Beantown podcast for Friday. It's a Friday fabulous show. I was trying to think of a third F, but I couldn't come up with it. A fabulous Friday feast. Although haven't eaten anything yet, so you're feasting on Beantown. Okay, you're feasting on. It's a Friday afternoon. And we're pretty much feeling done with work, although some of us, yours truly, are doing back-to-back 6-day work weeks, which is wicked. It's wicked hard. You're coming to just hang out for a little bit, right? It's Friday. It's kind of that midday lull where you're kind of finished up with your work, but it's not quite yet time to open up the bottle of whiskey or brandy or hand sanitizer, whatever you're indulging in, around 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. I got to tell you, I have no issue with breaking open the bottle at 1 p.m. It's 1 p.m. on a Friday afternoon for those of you listening to the audio. But here's the thing. I need to work out later this afternoon. So it's just once I get that first sip, I'm out for the rest of the day. I have never really tried to work out after drinking alcohol, but except for in college when we would spike some Hawaiian punch with vodka, put that in our water bottles, and go play basketball at the gym, and get really, really wasted. Because what would happen? We would get drunk going into it, and then instead of filling up with water in between pickup games, you would just chug some Hawaiian punch and vodka. And just get, really dehydrated and have a really fun time. My layups were definitely not going in after a couple sips of that, but they weren't going in without it regardless. So my name is Quinn Furness, and this is my show. Quinn David Furness presents the Beantown podcast. Welcome. I am the creator, director, best boy, all that fun stuff going on. And I am happy to welcome you in on a Friday afternoon. It's been a very busy week for me. There's a lot going on. We've got lots to talk about here, but I'm going to try to do it pretty quickly, pretty efficiently, because last week was a big endeavor. Last week, of course, our 4th annual Beantown Podcast Pledge Drive fundraiser telethon extraordinaire. It's the 4th year we've raised money. This year, all of our funds are being matched to the Chicago COVID-19 Relief Fund in partnership with United Way right here in Chicago. And I'm getting ready to cut that check. The telethon is over. That was last week. Pledge Drive month is all February, however. And so we still have another 2.5 days to go with that. Early next week, Monday, perhaps Tuesday, whenever I have time, we will cut that check. An update in terms of how we are doing, and I am still expecting a little bit more to come in this weekend. We're currently at $306, which is really exciting. Our goal was, I believe, 180, 200, something like that. So we took our goal and just blew right past it, which is very exciting. We have hit our goal every single year. And if you're thinking that what do? You just undershoot and everything so that you hit your goal. No, the goal has changed. Last year it was like 2 something. This year it was 180 something, whatever. Last year we raised almost $400, so we continue to hit our goals, which is very exciting. And a couple of housekeeping things. Number one, at the end of Pledge Drive month, we are going to be raffling off this fun laughfactory.com free ticket worth $20, no cash value though. So that's we're going to be able to do a fun little. There's an online raffle wheel. I don't remember the exact URL, but I actually just used it for something else this week. So we're going to put all of our donor names into the hat, the proverbial hat, and we're going to raffle that off at the start of next week. And I will include that in your donor tier letter, if you will. As a reminder, anyone who donates, you're getting a live shout out on the podcast, and that's going to come in just a couple of seconds here. If you hit $25, I believe that's our gold level member, you're getting a signed autographed picture of yours truly, Quinn David Furness. And then I think, or $20 for the gold member, I think, and then 35 is our Topaz Elite member, I believe that's what it was. That's going to get you a live interview live on the podcast. And we did have multiple people who hit that Topaz Elite mark. So I want to thank everyone who did hit that. We need to thank everyone who was part of this telethon fundraiser. So we're just going down the line. I want to thank Steve F. I want to thank Andrew Dennison, my uncle. I want to thank Matthew Fiedler. I want to thank Abby F. I want to thank Margaret Dennison, Jack Furness, Quinn Furness. Oh, that was my mom. Jane Dennison Furness, Dr. Jane Dennison Furness, Walter Furness, Betty Ramos, Anna Olunaike, and we're expecting at least 1 or 2 more donations. And then thank you again to everyone who called. It's just kind of a fun day. It's a silly thing that we can do, obviously. But it actually goes towards, typically operating costs this year. It did kind of cover operating costs, but it's more so for the charitable aspect of that. So we're really excited to be able to do that. Thanks everyone who was part of it last Saturday. It's just kind of a fun little funky time to hang out, talk to some people, field some phone calls, do some wild stuff live on the air, take our blood pressure once a year. So that's always a good time. That was kind of the peak. That was last Friday or last Saturday, excuse me. That was a fun time. We really enjoyed doing that. And everything since then, man, it's just been a wild ride. Starting off with Monday morning, I went to the DMV. Whoa, mama, what a time. So this is something I've been thinking about for a while. So my license expires on my birthday, which is 3 weeks from Tuesday. Is that right? No, 2 weeks from Tuesday. 2 weeks from Tuesday. It was 3 weeks from this last Tuesday. And I'll preface this by saying there wasn't an immediate urgent need to physically do it before it expires or what it says or when it says it expires, because Jesse White, our beloved Secretary of State, who's been Secretary of State in Illinois since like the 40s, has extended all license expirations until, I don't know, it's like August, October, something like that, September, I don't know. So there wasn't a pressing need, but I figure, you know what? I don't want to ever run into a situation where I'm like out trying to buy alcohol or something, and there's, I'm just dealing with a store clerk or someone, cashier, who just is like not in on it, and it causes problems. And I'm just like, you know what? I want to get a new license. Let's just take care of this. It won't be a problem. So I decided, you know what? Let's do it. Last time I went to the DMV was when I was 21, and it was super easy because I was able to go downtown to the Thompson Center. This was when I still lived in Chicago, or when I lived in Chicago the first time, and before I moved to Baltimore. I never had to go to the DMV in Baltimore. I never got a Maryland driver's license. So when I'm doing research on it, I realize the downtown locations are closed. So now you're thinking, what's next? What's the plan? And you should pull up a map. You should pull up, especially if you're in Chicagoland, if you're curious about this, the Chicagoland area Illinois Secretary of State offices. It is wicked. It's brutal. The downtown locations are closed. When you take those out of the equation, you literally have the city of Chicago, and it's just like a force field running around it, where you just like don't have any Secretary of State locations that are closed. It's wicked, man. And I should mention before I start flinging around expletives that listener discretion is advised when you're listening to the Beantown podcast. Number one, location, use some language. Number two, this podcast is objectively terrible. This is very much a podcast for the people, though. We're talking about real human stuff, DMVs and telethons and Netflix shows and 6-day work weeks, right? And I'm not, the $15 minimum wage that crashed in the Senate. It doesn't affect me, but still, it'd be nice to have. So I had done my research. I figured out that the closest, this is no lie, the closest DMV or Secretary of State location to my apartment up here in Rogers Park, and to anyone who lives, on the north side, anywhere, Although there's one in like the 4600 block of Diversey, which I guess if you live, down in Lincoln Park or Lakeview, you can hop on a bus and it's not awful, but that's really far west. It's like the 5400 block of Elston. And if you don't know, Elston's a diagonal that runs, northwest to southeast. And it is just that 5400 block of Elston, that's basically Elston and, or 5700 block. No, I'm getting my numbers. It's the 5400 block because it's between Foster and Bryn Mawr, of Elston. It's really far. There's no trains that go out there. You can, if you take the Brown line all the way to the end of it to Kimball, my annual fugitive watch is coming up soon here. I watch it right before my birthday every year, St. Patty's Day. That's exciting. That's a highlight of my year for me. You can take a Brown line to Kimball and then take an Uber, for 10 minutes and pay $15 or whatever. Or I could just Uber right from my house and pay, it'd probably be like $20, $25 one way. Or you can if you get on the blue line, you can go all the way to Jefferson Park and then walk about 12 minutes, something like that. It's almost a mile from the Jefferson Park blue line, which is, it's out there on 90, middle of the interstate. That's like O'Hare-ish, getting close to there. Or you can do what I did, which is get to Foster and take that bus all the way west. So I was coming from Lakeview. I was sleeping at Rachel's house. Wake up in the morning on Monday morning on our anniversary. Best anniversary ever. Actually, my first ever anniversary because it's the first time I've ever been dating someone for a year. So I felt really bad about this. It was somewhat poor planning on my part, but I just once I got it in my head that I was going to do it on this day, it was just that's it. I'm going to do it on this day. Once I put my mind to something, it's happening. So I wake up, literally alarm goes off at 5 a.m. on a Monday morning, which blows. I mean, that's tough. For me, whatever, but I felt bad waking Rachel up. So I'm she's lying down, sleeping, kind of sleeping. She's probably actually awake, but I'm getting all my stuff together and it's I got to get there early. So the DMV opens at 7:30. And I'm going for the real IDs, which is, Monday only at the DMV. Real ID, which if you don't know, real ID is a federal requirement that has been they've been trying to introduce for a really long time. And it keeps getting pushed back every year. And I was just excuse me, you know what? It's an option. I want to do it. Basically you need to get the real ID to use it at TSA at the airport. I think is where it comes into play mostly. And they, again, had Illinois pushed that requirement back to October 1st or something. It was originally supposed to happen years ago. But I was just you know what, let's get this out of the way too. I do fly pretty much always 100% of the time with my passport. So it's not an issue, but it's just I have to go digging through my backpack to, kind of pull it out. It'd be nice to just have my license, whip it out, boom, got the star on it right there. So I'm let's do the reality driver's license renewal all in one. It's going to be, boom. So I wake up, I leave Rachel's at 5:15. I was shooting to hop on a 22, but there weren't any available. So I go all the way to the red line. You can take that up to Berwyn. And it's really cold. I mean, this is right before, now in Chicago, it's 40 degrees, sunny out, it's summer out here. But this was right at the tail end of the just shit show that has been February of sub-zero temps, snow everywhere, 3 feet high, nothing is shoveled out, yada, yada, yada. So I get up to Berwyn and thankfully I got lucky. The Foster bus picks up at Berwyn. There's a bus waiting right there. So I hop on it, take it all the way out, very easy trip so far. Still very far though, right? You got to take it all the way from the red line, which is 1200 west, out to, Elston, which is, I don't know, 4700 west, something like that, where it intersects. It's a diagonal. So I get off And basically you get off at Foster and Elston, you just got to walk down Elston for about 9 or 10 minutes down to Mariano's where the DMV is. And man, I tell you what, it's dark outside. Nothing is shoveled. I get out there, like 6:30 in the morning, and it's just like windy, and I am super cold. I brought heavy duty gloves, the hat, the hood, the winter coat, all that fun stuff, but it was still just brutal. So I get into the line, and I'm maybe like, this is why I got there early. I may be, 15th, 20th in line, something like that. Isn't that bad? Because I tell you what, when I eventually left, and I'm jumping the gun, although there isn't that much left to this story. When I eventually left the DMV, it was about 8:15 a.m. The line must have had at least 80 people in it or something. And this is 8:15, 45 minutes after it opens. So this is why I got into line at about 6:40 in the morning. So I could do this. So yeah, I waited in line. And then eventually there were, a whole bunch of different reasons that people had to leave. Either they were there for the wrong thing or, whatever, yada, yada, yada. So the line gets weeded out, and eventually I'm all the way up to like 7th in line. So it wasn't too bad. I got in there right away, get my picture taken. I got lucky because Sunday night I went to bed. My hair was crazy. Like right now, my hair looks solid, I think, for what it's worth. But Monday morning, I woke up and the hair was just, I looked like fucking Goku from Dragon Ball Z. And I just put on my toque, my beanie, and just slicked it back and didn't take it off until literally the moment my picture was taken. And I have my temp ID back in my backpack. I haven't looked at it since Monday, but it turned out well, like all things considered. So I get the photo, and I was super on point with my documents, right? Because you gotta, especially for the real ID, you need I brought my social, my birth certificate, my passport, my driver's license, and 3. You only need 2, but I figure let's get 3 for backup. 3 proof of residency docs. So shout out to Rachel and Rachel's family for letting me print my docs there when I was at their house maybe 3 weeks ago, something like that. So it's like bank statement, my renter's insurance policy, and something else I don't remember. Oh, a utility bill, my ComEd bill. So I was like, boom, here's this, boom, here's that. The only thing they didn't ask is if I wanted to change my my height and weight. Obviously, my height hasn't changed since I was 21, but my weight on my current license reads 210, which I feel like it didn't weigh that much when I was 21, but I guess I did. Anyways, my weight has, at a certain point ballooned way up past that, and now it's way down below that. So it's kind of like, hey, I'm a new man, new look. Monday morning, this is me now, but I didn't get the opportunity. So my new license that I have for another 4 years is still going to read 210, but I don't really care. So I get all that, boom, 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 and I get out and make the long trek home. And after all this, because you got to take a bus back towards the lake, get off, wait for another bus, take that home, then walk home from that bus. After all that, waking up at 5 a.m., trudging through the snow, 0 degrees out, I was only 7 minutes late to work. So I'm very proud of myself. Moral of the story, if you're going to go to the DMV, specifically the Elston one, which for people who use public transportation live on the north side, like it's either that or Diversey, and they're both super far out. There is nothing close. Nothing is easy. Nothing is convenient. Even if you have a car, it's like go to the Burrs, go to one of those. It's tough. But moral of the story is, by the time the place physically opened at 7:30 a.m. in the morning, it was, there had to have been at least 60 to 70 people in line. Which, if it's weather like this, it's like, yeah, bring a book or something, hang out, just whatever. But when I went, back when we were still under deep freeze mode, it's just, I was doing little dances. I was practicing some of my TikTok dances. And boy, I tell you what, if you're not watching the live stream right now on YouTube, you're missing out on some great TikTok dance moves. Right? I'm like Addison Rae, Charlie D'Amelio. Got the moves. Moral of the story, if you don't have to go, don't go. If you do, and work is flexible and allows you to do something like this, try to get there at a more reasonable time. A lot of people say like over lunch hour. For me, it's just not an option. Like I got work, and work is super busy right now, which is why I'm podcasting during work hours on a Friday. It is though. I just am the type of person who likes to front load my my work schedule. So, first, let's see. So let's go ahead and read some ads here. I mentioned I was going to keep it kind of short, right? I'm not going to waste anyone's time on a Friday afternoon. I got stuff to do. You got stuff to do. So we're going to read our ads. And in the second half, we're going to just briefly preview or review a Netflix show that Rachel and I have been watching. We've watched the first 3 episodes. There's 6 total. And it's a show with a big twist. And we don't know the big twist yet. So I can't even give you spoilers. So let me pull up our ads here, and then we'll dig into our second half of today's program. Home Pride Oregon. Oh, they're good friends of the show. Are you tired of selling your house for less than a quarter of what it's worth, all because you couldn't find a reliable home inspector in time? Well, Oregon listeners, I got good news for you. Home Pride Inspection Services in Bend, Oregon, right? We've all been there, is Central Oregon's hottest new home inspection provider with home inspection services, including things like heating, cooling, roofing, plumbing. Very important. You don't want to burst pipes. This guy's going to help you with those and so much more. Home Pride Oregon is both contractor certified and home inspection certified, so you know you're getting the good stuff. If you're tired of big real estate anglehold on the home inspection market and you want a safe, certified home inspector that you can trust, listen up, folks, because you got to call Steve at 541-410-0316, or you can visit homeprideoregon.com. Again, I'll say it again for you in case. Get your pen and pad out, scribble it down, 541-410-0316, or visit homeprideoregon.com. Home Pride Oregon Inspection Perfection. I want to give a shout out to the Samson Q2U series. We're down to 1 again, and I still haven't tested the second one because I never think about it. But we're going to need to get a second one, especially once we do some of these Pledge Drive interviews. It's too much of a hassle to be like, here's the phone, here's the mic, like bring. This is Quinn. Thanks for calling. Speaking of which, I made a custom voicemail, and I don't think anyone ever heard it besides me, because we didn't like miss any calls or anything last Saturday. But I made a custom voicemail greeting for the Pledge Drive Telethon fundraiser, and it was pretty comical. It's a shame that no one ever heard it, because I've gone back to my default one. But I had a recruiter, not for jobs, just for like a focus group, call me on Monday, and I think I still had my custom voicemail greeting up on my line, because they left a very perplexed voicemail. Speaking of which, I did I'm not sure what kind of NDA I signed on this, but basically I can say that I did a online clothing, online shopping for clothing, like online diary, this past weekend over the course of 5 days. And there were all sorts of social media posts that I was doing, and, screenshotting and, gabbing about clothes and shopping. And it was quite a time. I'm all in it for the hustle, trying to make big buckos over here, especially after how much I had to pay in with my negative tax refund. I want to do a quick ad read for our dear friends at Cuts by Q, and we just got a little fresh cut by Q earlier this afternoon. It was finally nice enough outside to where I could just go plop on the deck for 5 minutes and give a little side cut. We got a fun message from an unknown viewer. It says, my first daffodil has a flower. I don't know what that means. Probably some sort of sexual innuendo. Let's move on here. Hopefully we don't get the chat hacked. Bob and weave, we all know the hairstyle and we all love it. But how many Chicago-based independent barbers can actually give it to you the way you deserve? Enter Cuts by Q. It's like Enter Sandman, only slightly different. Cuts by Q has been independently owned and operated since 1995 and is probably one of the better barbershop operations. That's how we are officially classified for tax purposes. We are a barbershop operation serving Let's see. Where are we serving? Chicago, City of Chicago, Cook County, Northwest Indiana, and the greater Chicagoland area. From beehives to bangs, faux hawks to flat tops, and this sexy little fade you're looking at on the YouTube stream, and everything in between. You got to call Cuts by Q at 815-298-7200, 7200. Although it is also 7200. Or you can email cutsbyq@yahoo.com. Again, that's cut, Q-U-T-Z, by Q, at yahoo.com. All right, sing it with us on the live stream. Oh, when you need a fresh do, something snappy and new, just call the experts at Cuts by Q. Did a little shimmy on the live stream. We're getting more messages on the YouTube stream. It says, no, 3 laughing emojis. My daffodil plant has a flower. That's good. I'm happy. None of my plants have flowers, although none of them are supposed to. So if they did, that would be like a Guinness World Records sort of thing. I mentioned at the top of the show that we were going to be quickly reviewing a recent Netflix show that Rachel and I started watching last weekend, and we'll probably finish watching this weekend if we have time, although I have to work tomorrow. The show is called Behind Her Eyes. It's the sequel to the Kelly Clarkson hit Behind Her Hazel Eyes. Here I am once again, I'm torn into pieces. Great tune. No, it has nothing to do with that song. I don't think. I'm not sure. Is on the British Netflix. I have no idea. I don't live in Wee Britain. I live in Chicago. So you'll have to do a Google search. I don't know. It probably takes 5 seconds to find out. It is a British show. So I would bet it's on the UK version of Netflix. Basically, you got this lady, this African-American female, who is a secretary 3 days a week at a psychiatrist's office. And before you ask me, no, I don't have any answers for you. I don't know how this lady survives working 3 days a week. Look, she's living, I was going to say the American dream, but it's in Britain. So she's living the British dream, working 3 days a week. She has a kid. His name is like Goose or Sully or something like that. It's this little kid with glasses and an afro. He's maybe 7 years old. And she only works 3 days a week, and she's got this decent apartment with a fun little balcony. So no, I don't really know where her money's coming in. Definitely something sinister. You know, there's a big twist in this show that everyone is talking about. Not the twist itself, but they're talking about the fact that there is a twist, and we don't know what the twist is yet. I'm guessing this lady deals beautiful Snow White, cocaine powder for her to afford this lifestyle, only working 3 days a week. Where do I sign up? So the show opens, and she lives alone with her son. She's divorced, custody battle, Kramer versus Kramer, all that fun stuff. And she goes out for I'm trying to think of the British slang for it, a wee bit of taking or something. That's just what they say in Britain for having a drink. And so she's supposed to meet this friend, and who's probably her cocaine hookup, I don't know, and deals with yobos. Maybe that's the term. She goes out to deal with a yobo, okay, which in Britain just means go out for a wee little drink. And she goes out and she gets stood up by her friend. She's about to leave, and she bumps into this Scottish guy whose name is like Trevor or Richard or Scott or something. I don't really know. She spills a drink all over him. They end up having a fun night. As they leave, they smooch, and it's like, oh, so romantic. Like she finally met a man, whatever. So she goes home. She shows up to work the next day, which happens to be one of the 3 days a week that she actually goes to work, lazy ass. And she finds out that it's the first day of this new psychiatrist. She works at like a conglomeration office or something that has multiple psychiatrists working there, just not just one. And it's this guy that she smooched. He's there. He's the new doctor, day one, and his wife is there on day one of the job too, which is weird. Who brings their wife to their first day of work? I don't have any answers. It's all this British culture stuff. I don't understand. Okay, but his wife's there, and she is really creepy. Like, look into her eyes, and it is just dead inside. It is weird. So all of a sudden, you know, this the black lady, I don't remember her name, it's like Janice or something British, like Agatha maybe. And she's like hiding because now, you know, she has to be this new secretary. Anyways, and then she kind of the guy's wife, the doctor's wife, is like really creepy and like clearly has some issues. And all of a sudden she befriends Agatha, the black lady or whatever her name is. I don't remember the wife's the you know, the white wife's name. Her name is like Julian or something. I don't know. And so they become friends. So now, you know, the secretary who works only 3 days a week with the little kid, Goose or Russell, whatever his name is, she's now, you know, in a sultry, torrid affair, smooching this doctor that she works for. And she is gym buddies with this other lady. So that's basically the premise of the show. And it's very clear that something is way off, something is not right. And we had another message in the chat that says, Yobos are gangs of people who do graffiti and drugs. Well, that's probably who she's hanging out with behind the scenes, because she's got to have some sort of hookup to afford this lavish lifestyle. So we watched the first 3 episodes, and I'm going to be honest, like, I don't love it, but it's one of those things where it's just like, we're far enough in now. Like, there's only 3 more, you know, 15-minute episodes. Like, let's just go, let's finish it. And I got to see what this twist is that everyone's talking about. You on BuzzFeed, and it's all you can see. BuzzFeed is just the newest Netflix or Hulu show, or The Bachelor, or 36 fun plastic gadgets made in China that you never knew how to live without until now. That's all of BuzzFeed right now, and always has been. Anyways, the last thing I mentioned is a news. You might have seen the news story drop about this new online newspaper started by a couple of U Chicago students, out of all places, U Chicago, a couple of young white girls, to try to counteract cancel culture, which is great. I saw this tweet, or I don't know exactly what it was, but I saw a tweet on Twitter, typically a good spot to find tweets, earlier this week that I really resonated with, saying it's not cancel culture, it's consequence culture, which, amen. Like, yes. So these 2 U Chicago white girls have started their online newspaper. I guess it's kind of like, you know, Breitbart 2.0, or like Alex Jones' Daughters, maybe. Or if you ever had the opportunity to visit Return of Kings? Is that what it was called? Something of Kings.com. What was that? It was active when I was in college. And yeah, so basically what this was, it was like a really toxic masculinity website, but like completely serious. And it was still on until I was in until a couple years ago. It was a thing in college that we made jokes about, and would occasionally going to a very liberal school in my undergrad would make jokes and link people to it, et cetera, whatever. But Return of Kings, if you've never been, you can still go to the website. It's been on hiatus for the last 2.5 years, so there's nothing new posted on there. But let's see their most, let's see some of their top stories. So Amazon has banned 9 of my books without explanation, from Bruce V. He's the founder of this. The damaging effects of Jewish intellectual activism on Western culture. So they're really going for a lot of different angles here. Anti-Semitic, racist, misogynist. They're really trying to check off all your boxes here. 2 signs to identify a liberal in disguise. I love that. This is the perfect embodiment of this site. Not only is it, identifying liberals in disguise, whatever, but it's not like your standard news article or clickbait where it'd be like 5 signs or 10 signs. It's 2 signs. Got it. Got another message in the chat. The only thing I hear on TV is stay home, protect the NHS, stay lives. Okay. I'm not really sure. Yes. 35 pretty girls who became fat and ugly. 7 ways modern women treat men like dogs. Comfort will not give you meaning in life. What does that even mean? The devolution of the West can be seen through popular sports. If you hate the patriarchy, give us back our electricity. Okay, this is the last thing I'm going to do, and then we're going to call it quits. Let's read this article. Hopefully it's not too long. It is really long. Let's just read the beginning. This article, I'm not joking. You can go to returnofkings.com. If you hate the patriarchy, give us back our electricity. Down with the patriarchy, shouts a blue-haired, non-binary, non-gender conforming thing at the top of its shrill lungs. Has the world gone mad? Has the apocalypse finally come? What is going on here? Is there a virus in the water? No, it's just Tuesday at a university in America. And the blue-haired, we got an ad. The ad says, stop getting tricked by bad girls for pretending to be good. Got that right. And the blue-haired shrieking thing happens to be your professor. Have fun at school, fellas. And then here are the different section titles in this article. Traditional gender roles, men's technological inventions empower women. Women don't behave like men. There's a lot of fun pictures here. Truth is sexist. Oh, and then electricity. Internal combustion engine. Okay. This article is really... Oh, wait. I got to just go back to this one little section because I caught the headline. This section of the article, and I can't keep track of what this article is actually about. It's titled Shout Out to the Ladies. This section reads, personally, I love women. Besides giving us life and sustaining us in our early years, women contribute immensely to life and culture. They often make great professionals alongside men in the workplace, and women's contributions to broader society are notable. Of course, we'd all be rough brutes and life wouldn't be worth living without the refining presence of women. I love it. I love it. Here's, the top comment is from a user named Maverick, and it's got 163 upvotes. Feminists, with an apostrophe between the T and the S, were never about equality, only dominance. If all men took one day off from their jobs, the economy worldwide would snap in half. No doctors, pilots, truck drivers, tradesmen would be devastating. If women took the day off, well, it would be business as usual and likely go unnoticed. We got a lot of, there's so much in the chat, and I appreciate the listener engagement. I don't know what this is. This is a British headline. Well, no, it's from Return of Kings. Kate Garraway reveals she's not allowed to see husband Derek in hospital and hasn't in 2 months. I think that's from Grey's Anatomy. Kate is from Good Morning Britain. I got to tell you what, guys. I am going to stop the stream because things have gone off the rails. We're reading from Return of Kings. We're getting British headlines. I'm thirsty. I'm getting text messages, all that fun stuff. So I am going to call it there because we've already gone 38 minutes, and that's a pretty good for a show, you know. I want to thank everyone for listening. Thanks again so much last week for all your support with the Pledge Drive Telethon fundraiser. We had a lot of fun. It was our 4th annual one. Next year is the Big 5-0, or just Big 5, not 5-0, just the Flying V. Great gas station chain. We got a call coming in, 815-255-3385. I could answer it live on the air. I'm not going to. I'm not feeling it. I'm gonna decline. I'm not expecting a call. Good thing I changed my voicemail. Jess, Jess from Britain, I hope you're having fun in the chat. But we're ending the stream here. Thanks everyone. We'll be doing donor tier incentives. Those should be coming out in the next couple of weeks. And we'll be cutting that big fat check to United Way of Chicago for COVID-19 relief fund next week. That's all I got for you. So we're going to get some outro music going here. And there's so much still going on in the chat. Maybe does it show up? Does live chat show up on a post stream? I don't think it does. Anyways, if you didn't see it live, I read most of it. It's devolved into madness. That's what I got. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, you can email us at beantownpodcast@yahoo.com. Again, it's Beantown, beanpodcast@yahoo.com. Thanks everyone for listening. Let's get that music going. Everyone stay safe, stay sane, enjoy this beautiful weather, the deep thaw, and I'm going to check in on you next week. Bye, and bye to February. Bye, YouTube. Peace.